Okay, for number 9a, it's going to be a problem where you have to work with the difference quotient. Now the difference quotient formula will be provided on the test, and it's this one right here. The function that we're going to work with is 3x minus 2x squared. What we need to do is fill in both these pieces of the formula with our function. Now f of x is just the original function, so we're just going to put that one in as is. We still have to find f of x plus h. Now the way that you're going to do this is, we want to find f of x plus h, you're going to take this function, replace the x's that you see in here with x plus h. What that's going to look like is this here. So I'm going to put in, instead of the x here, I'm going to put in x plus h. I'm going to put a minus sign because it's part of the formula. There's also a 2 that's part of the formula. And I'm going to put x plus h for that one as well. Don't forget the square that's here because that's part of the original function. So I took out the x's and I put in x plus h for each of those. Now in the formula there's a minus sign, the difference quotient formula, and then here there's f of x. Now f of x is just going to be your original function. The most important thing is make sure you put that inside parentheses. And the reason why you want to do that is because you're subtracting the entire function, and this is usually where most people make the mistake, is not distributing the minus sign. You won't get everything to cancel out. So now we have f of x plus h, which is this part right here. We have the minus sign, and then we have f of x over there. All that's going to be divided by h. So now what we have to do from here is just do a bunch of simplifying. So the first thing I'll do is I'm going to simplify, distribute the 3, so 3x plus 3h. Now we have to follow our order of operations. You're not allowed to multiply negative 2 inside here because order of operations says you have to do the square first. So I'm just going to put minus 2, and then I'm going to square this one. So if you have x plus h squared, remember that that's the same thing as x plus h and x plus h. I'm going to multiply this together by formula. So I'm going to do x and x is x squared. Then I'm going to do an xh, and I have another xh here. That's going to give me a 2xh. And then two h's multiplied together, it's going to be h squared. So that would be, this whole thing right here is x plus h quantity squared. Now the minus sign, I'm going to distribute that to here, and I'm going to get negative 3x plus 2x squared. So now I have all this over h. So now we're down to here. The next thing you want to do is distribute the negative 2 all the way through here, and from there it's going to allow you to be able to cancel out some terms. Now you should have this as a separate step because of my space that I have here on the board. I'm just going to go ahead and distribute the negative 2 right now, but you probably should have this as a next step when you're writing this down just to make sure. So if I multiply negative 2 by this, negative 2x squared, this is going to be a negative 4xh, and this is going to be negative 2h squared. I've now distributed the negative 2. From here, I'm going to start doing some canceling. We notice that 3x is going to cancel out with negative 3x here. There's also a negative 2x squared, which will cancel out with positive 2x squared. That's why these signs are really important to get you to be able to cancel these out. Now if you've done this kind of problem correctly, you should only have things with h in it left over. So there's h here, an h in that term, there's an h in that term. That's what you should have left over. If you still have a x squared, an x by itself, or a number by itself, then go back and check. You want to make sure you did the distributing properly. So for space-wise, I'm just going to go ahead and erase this, and so we'll continue on. The next step down, which I'm going to continue here, of course you'll have this all in a row on your paper, but if I rewrite what I have left, I have 3h minus 4xh minus 2h squared, and I still have all that over h. So basically just doing each step one by one, I just simplify the entire top. I got down to here. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to factor out an h, because that's a common factor. It appears in all three terms that we have there. So I'm going to get 3 minus 4x minus 2h, and I have all that over h down below. We don't need this anymore. So once we do that, that allows us now to cancel out the h's. So once it's factored out like this, we just cancel it out. Whatever you have left over, that's going to be what you put down for your answer. It's okay if you have an h as part of your answer. There's no special notation that you have to put for difference quotient. On your answer blank, you can just simply write this. It doesn't matter which order you have these in either. So 3 minus 4x minus 2h. This right here would be your final answer.